Thank you. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I've been asked to sit in for the chair as he is attending remotely this morning, this afternoon.
Evening.
Roll call.
Mr. Blevins,
Here.
Mr. Hall,
Here.
Mr. Labatt,
Here.
Mr. McMahon, Mr. Morrell,
Here.
Mr. Reagan,
Here.
Mr. Staples.
Here.
We have a quorum. Public notice was given on March 22nd, 2024. Public comment. Is there any public comment? Hearing none. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of February 27th, 2024. Moved by Ernie, second. Second by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial report.
There are no financial reports, but we will review the audit, so that encompasses all of last year.
Excellent. Committee reports, Audit and Finance Committee. I'll take that one. We had a audit committee meeting earlier today. Reviewed the audit with our auditors, Pinto, Mazinski, Hooper, and Van House. Their opinion is unmodified for all organizations. Internal controls, they found no material weakness. Compliance, no instances of non-compliance with provisions of laws or grants. No difficulty in performing the audience and no disagreements with management.
I move to accept the Audit and Finance Committee's report.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Governance Committee report. Lynn, do you want to handle that one or?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Earlier today, the Governance Committee met. We reviewed the policies you have in your packet today and determined that there's no need for changes to any of them at this time. We also went over an executive session, the board member evaluation forms. A suggestion was made and the committee recommends that we add a comment line in case someone doesn't fully agree. At least they can explain what they're talking about. It might help us in the future. The annual financial disclosure forms are reviewed and completed and will be submitted by staff prior to the March 31 deadline. And lastly, the committee reviewed the mission statement and performance measures and determined there was no need for revisions at this time.
I move to accept the Governance Committee's report.
second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Staff report, Mr. Kelly.
As an update, we told you at the last meeting, we're working with National Grid to update the lighting inside this building. We are going to have those upgrades completed next week. It's about a $9,000 expenditure that we are going to be responsible for a little more than $4,000. And then it's estimated it will provide about $2,700 in savings every year. So the grid program pays for more than half of it. And then our return is about 1.5 years. So we thought it's a pretty good program. We've referred it to other businesses and other property holders. So going through the program ourselves helps with the lighting bill. It helps us be more informed about how the program works. So we can continue to make referrals. Some marketing events and initiatives just to talk about quickly. There was a Business Connections Spotlight on Resources event this morning at the Northwest Tech BOCES in Ogdensburg that we attended. March 13th, Lori and Bob attended a Gateways to Careers event at SUNY Canton. And Bob attended the March 19th Quebec, New York Transportation Rendezvous. So still working to make sure that local businesses and employers are aware of the resources here in the county and trying to find prospective new companies to attract to the county. We're gonna have some information with our annual report review later on in the meeting, so that's gonna be it for my staff report right now.
Any questions? Hearing none. No old business has been brought forward. New business. Resolution annual review of our code of ethics that was reviewed earlier by our governance committee.
I'd like to make a motion that we do the same thing we did at the committee meeting. The Code of Ethics, Compensation, Defense, and Whistleblower, we vote on at one vote. Make a motion to do that.
And the real property report, if you'd like.
Yeah, excuse me.
Any objection to that? Okay, all in favor of? All in favor of all the annual reviews as a consent resolution?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution amending, approving resolution for Pivot Solar New York 10 LLC.
I'm with the resolution.
Second.
Discussion.
I will simplify this. You approved a sales, mortgage recording tax exemption for a solar project. This is amending that resolution from 2023. They are not going to be utilizing a kind of financing where they can take advantage of that. They've asked if we could instead provide them a sales tax exemption in substantially the same amount. So that's the amendment. And that's page 26 is where you'll see the dollar amount. And it's within our up to 10,000 per megawatt threshold that we have utilized for previous projects.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Project authorizing resolution for Civi Steel Company.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
We've done a number of projects with surveys over the years where they are acquiring new and modernized equipment for the facility. We can provide them a sales tax exemption. You'll see on Exhibit A, they're investing in this angle formation machines, a fabricating machine. There's a picture of it. Within the cost benefit analysis, we highlight the 135 jobs, the wages, the benefits that they provide, the long history in Governor, the fact that this helps modernize and update the facility, some of the signature work that they've done over the years, the harbor facility in Buffalo, the Vauchelin Plaza. This is all highlighted in the cost benefit analysis. You may have seen the recent articles. They're doing a lot of work at the new Buffalo Bills Stadium. We recommend the approval.
I think it's a terrific project. I don't think most people in the county realize that we have a company like that here in St. Lawrence County that employs 135 people, and pays great wages and benefits, and that is involved in major projects around the state, around the Northeast. And, it's good to see the IDA involved with companies like that in Governor, helping retain, well-paid industrial jobs.
I agree. I've been following Watertown and the boat. They tried to bid on the contract and they gave it to somebody else out of the state. That's wrong. I think they're gonna have a second shot at it, right?
Yeah.
How strong is their IDA off the record? They don't, I'm serious, I watch it, they don't seem to be.
You're asking me in a public meeting off the record.
We're on-
No such thing as off the record.
I am so consumed with how well we function. I don't have time to have an opinion on it.
Everybody praises us, the IDA, being the best in the North.
Yeah.
That I know is a fact.
They are good, hardworking people. And they are, I think, they are leading the effort on the boat manufacturing, getting a fair shake at that contract. So I commend them for their work.
I'd just like to make a comment on the cost benefit analysis
Mhm.
form that you used. We created this a couple years ago.
We've always had a similar form that we've done ourselves. We incorporated some of the new requirements from New York State law. Rich built a series of them based on the type of project, but yeah, that is an in-house.
It's a very easily read document that I think helps us when we look at these projects, so.
Perfect, thank you. Good.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution accepting the 2023 audit.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Is there any discussion?
It was a good audit. It was clean, no findings. I don't have any other, everything went smooth.
Presented to the Audit and Finance Committee earlier. You had your discussion with them.
Yeah.
No changes, no disagreements with management. I mean, it's,
And I made those comments under the committee meeting, so.
yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
And do have copies in front of you for you guys to do.
Motion carries. Resolution for the 2023 annual Harris report.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is the time of the year where we do all of our reporting, not just our financial audit, but all of our project activity that then gets summarized, reported into the public authorities reporting information system, which goes to the authorities budget office and to the office of the comptroller. Copies of these reports are sent to the county. They're made available to the public through our website. What I will point out is the primary document that we utilize to capture the year's activities for the IDA as well as its affiliated corporations is this annual report. And we will be sending this to the Board of Legislators through our liaison, Mr. Reagan. We will be making it publicly available. This documents the work that was done in 2023 and the active projects. We have an annual assessment of the active projects for the IDA that we do every year. I'll report to you and it's been provided to you. We have 45 active projects, and by active, we mean underway, receiving systems. So either receiving a sales and use tax exemption, a mortgage recording tax exemption, a pilot that is underway, or an active bond. So those are our active projects. There's 45 of them. Overwhelmingly, they're meeting their job creation and retention targets. I will point out to you that at the time of our project starting, each individual of the 45 projects starting, they represented 615 jobs. So the existing workforce across the 45 projects was 615 workers. The proposed job creation across that project portfolio was 161 and a half jobs. And there's half because there's part-times, there's full-time equivalents. As of 2023, the jobs added number is actually 225. So we started with 615. The proposal goal was 161. The actual jobs added is 225. So prior to IDA projects, there were 615 jobs. Currently, there's 840 at these projects. And then within our annual report, there's also a significant aspect to what we do regarding tax-based development.
Patrick, I think that the fact that we've helped 45 companies in St. Lawrence County add 225 jobs is a huge accomplishment. And, you know, I think the public perception is everything's going badly in the county. The county, you know, this is the North Country, everything's the worst. The fact that we've worked with these companies and helped them through loans, pilots, you know, technical assistance, helping them with their workforce, and help them expand and add additional 225 jobs is a huge accomplishment for, you know, a small agency with only a handful of staff. So the payoff for the residents of the county of having the IDA as its economic development agent is huge. And when you read, you know, the annual report, which you're gonna go into more, you know, looking at all the things that the IDA does and has done over the, you know, the past year, and especially the marketing efforts is just a real testament to the hard work of your staff. And, you know, this board is very grateful to all of you for all that you're doing.
But, you gotta agree, when you put out that, it's gonna retain and create.
Yes,
It's very important that we retain the thousands of jobs,
yes,
not just make new jobs.
correct.
So that's gonna be, if you're gonna put out something,
Well, and he said, those 45,
yeah, but you gotta tell the people in the job.
exactly, and those 45 businesses had 600 and something jobs before we got involved. And now they're up to
800.
Yeah,
800 or something. So, you know, we are retaining helping companies to retain jobs, to keep people working here, plus helping them to expand and add more jobs.
and I'll point out,
I think it's also hard to get a number of how many jobs we retain. You really don't, it's hard to never come up with, if they keep people we don't even know about that are being kept.
well,
The
and,
lower paid jobs are entry jobs.
and I'll point out, this is our active projects. So if we did a project, you know, you mentioned the paper mill in Potsdam that's not in for the IDA portion, that's not even counted in that 45. We have a loan with them, so we count it in our aggregate report, but there's other projects where we've done things over the years
Jobs there.
that are, you know, not counted. So going through the report, you'll see, on the inside cover, there's our history of project activity, which broadly breaks down where the projects have happened to show. This is community-wide. I know, Jim, you don't like these maps, but I insisted on having them.
I don't need it.
You do.
And
That was just, you know, Patrick, I gotta hand it to you. It's just a brilliant idea, you know, and, you know, but it showed, people could just glance at that and see how the IDA has helped communities all around the county. And, you know, I think that's, you know, the kind of visual aid that,
But the public don't see this book.
they will, sure.
Public,
One of our efforts has got to be to do a better job
how are
of,
you gonna get it out to the public, all the 110,000 people in this county?
well,
we're gonna go to each of them and take a look at.
No, but if you took just that and put it in the paper, I like that right.
well, Andy, who's covering us, was provided a copy right before the meeting, so we'll work with him, we'll work with the press.
Wait and see.
We'll get the word out.
Okay.
Then we also, you know, you people know this, but we spend a lot of time at various stakeholder meetings around the county. You know, and then when we give reports on what we do, having something like this makes a nice comprehensive presentation of our work. So we'll be,
That's not to the common ordinary citizen of the county. What you got there on that page, I would like to see that as an advertisement. That says a lot right there to me.
yep. We can work on that. We
Don't you think so, Jim? I think
Yes,
that's great.
You know, I think.
The hot corner.
You and I think are thinking the same way and, you know,
So
Patrick, I just think it was such a brilliant idea.
One of the few, but it's good.
it was his idea, so we're the very
There you go, Jim. I like it.
Oh my God.
Good idea, though. It is a good idea.
interrupting the love in here for a second. As you go through this report, you'll see we tried to be a little more visual, graphically demonstrate the job retention and growth, the pilot payment impact. We do a consolidation of there's a graph for the IDA, then there's one where we combine the IDA and the three LDCs. and we remove the duplication, so we're not double counting. That figure, Ernie, just so you know, over 2,600 retained jobs, about 283 jobs created for a total of 200,926.
Those are the numbers. But you know, I wonder how many people that are working in the places that we save understand what we did for them.
They don't. They have no idea, they don't know it,
No.
and nobody tells them that, you know, and, you know. But I think efforts like this, you know, we
We
start,
need good PR.
educating the public about how, this agency has made a real contribution to counties and counties.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Working through the report, we then highlight some projects, activities and initiatives. So Air Products is mentioned, a number of the projects you've approved. We did Northeastern Sign in Colton, working with Alcoa on their rail service. Number of different, projects throughout communities that are highlighted, some infrastructure, some company assistance, working on facilities. The marketing efforts that Jim mentioned are highlighted, a lot of information about what we try to do to build awareness within the employer community. A significant amount is allocated to the ARPA funding. The county entrusted us to administer $3.4 million of ARPA funds. There is Jim, you'll see if you turn to page 26. One map wasn't enough. We got another map here. Again, at member legislator Reagan's urging to show where, you know, it was important to us, it was important to you that we allocated this ARPA money as broadly around the county as we could.
Hey, you know how many people I've told about the ARPA Act, they don't even know that it's going on?
It's
What we've done and handed out to small business to help us, they don't even know that.
and every award that was made is listed in here.
Yet there.
Yep.
And it's, you know, early in Patrick's defense, I mean, you know, Patrick, you have a number of how many outfits that we have distributed money to, through the ARPA program.
Some have received awards from multiple programs, but you can look, as you flip through here, it's over 100.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's more than
That, Jim, the people don't know that.
but what I'm
This
saying,
is what I've tried to tell people, you don't know what's going on.
I know that, but my point is that if you look at this one, 2, 3.
When you add individuals who've received training, it's in the hundreds.
Oh, it's terrific. That's why I think I keep telling people, you don't understand what's going on with this art program. What's the art program? It's just money given us to go out to help small businesses. It's been a wonderful thing. I guess I'll never be satisfied until we have 100% PR.
Yes.
Well,
But, you know, I think it's more on the order of like 150 different small businesses and larger businesses and not-for-profits that,
Was that ever put in the paper like that?
we have.
Is there a reason you don't want to put it in the paper?
No, we
Embarrass the people?
we've been covered every time.
I have never read it in the paper.
Well, we've had it in the paper. Andy has been really good about each time we've had a meeting where we've approved ARPA awards. We've given him the list.
No, I understand the reporter, but let me,
And we've
I
added,
get a newspaper.
Yeah.
Can I open up the newspaper and see that printed in the newspaper? That's what we're not seeing. That's what people don't understand what this program's doing.
But
That's
this,
all I'm saying.
this is our cumulative report for the year.
Right.
The individuals have been
But
covered through
the
the
average
year,
people don't see this.
correct.
Well,
That's a
you know,
problem.
But we can't
We
make the horse drink the water.
You can do more in the newspaper,
Larry, or
but we're losing newspaper.
or you can make a motion to take out a full page ad in the newspapers in which we list all of these outfits that we've given funds to through the ARPA program. And the, or we can talk about it at another time.
I mean,
Well, the only problem I have with that, is, would we offend the people that we do it to? You gotta watch that too, understand
Well-
that.
my report is done.
Kind of a mixed bag.
What I will tell you is we do have a need for executive session to talk about the financial credit and employment history of certain corporations in relation to a potential ARPA award. So if you want to,
So I get the message, shut up. until-
no, I'm saying if you want to talk more about
I would like
ARPA,
to
that's
go
the
into
next thing on your
executive session for
agenda.
that
Are we
reason.
done with this though? I'm happy to segue.
That's a great report.
Listen,
Yeah.
before we go, I will say, Jim mentioned the staff. When you look through this document, so Lori did the cover. Lori did the back cover, and these are the effort, I mean, you talk about promoting our activities. This is all different ways and means of us to promote who we are and what we do. That's what that back cover represents. Within the report, the significant amount of project activity. We do a lot of our project fulfillment work, and I mean, after you approve, when we approve a company for assistance, they don't get turned over to somebody else. We work with attorneys, we work with lawyers, but a lot of that work is done internally. Rich does the lion's share of that work. You look at this and it covers loans, it covers initiatives, it covers all this ARPA that Kim, is done internally and oversees, with assistance from Brian and John and
I know you're
Bob.
doing the best you can.
no, but there's,
I just, when I sit down and have a cup of coffee with people, they never heard of this. That's when I say.
I don't think anything we're gonna do is gonna change that.
And we're starting, my experience.
trying to say something nice about workforce, but they're just not gonna let me do it. I'm sorry. I think highly of you.
Is, it was always very depressing to me that, one time we ran a series of articles on the subject. We wrote for 25 days, we ran articles detailing everything about it. And then a couple months later, somebody was in the office going, why haven't I seen anything on this? And it's like, what more can I do other than to go to your house and open your head and pour it in,
Well, there's another problem. We don't have many newspapers left.
no, but
That's hurting.
we also have to look at it. And
What do we need the executive session for?
I think we may have done enough of self-congratulation at this particular point in time, and maybe we should move on.
Hey, very good. How are things in Florida?
I said you did the covers.
They're warmer probably than there.
Okay,
All right, let's
call the vote.
Let's move on. On vote, what are we voting on, Ben? I move the resolution.
Or accepting the resolution, or, approving the report.
Got what you need.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Who was the first? Who was the second?
These two.
Okay.
And that is for I'm assuming, let me make sure I have this right. The annual report, the mission and performance review, that was for both of those.
Annual assessment. And
The annual report and the,
performance report,
okay, and the annual report.
yes,
One and two.
All the Paris, everything Paris. related.
Everything but the final.
right. Okay, moving on. Authorizing allocations through the American Rescue Plan Act, Economic Development and Tourism Funding Programs.
Don't move the resolution.
There's a second
Second.
discussion. We're gonna go into
I
executive
would recommend, yes, for the reason I mentioned earlier.
to discuss the financial,
Yep, credit histories
so,
with corporations and applicants.
yep, motion to go into executive session,
So move.
second. Okay, we are out of executive session and we will vote on a resolution authorizing allocations through the American Rescue Plan Act, Economic Development and Tourism Funding Program.
Move the resolution.
Moved by Ernie, second.
Second.
Steve, Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. And we are adjourned.